I am so grateful that I have my own riding arena to ride my horse in. It makes it so much nicer to have a dedicated area that I can ride every single day whenever I feel like it. But when winter gets here and the time changes like it's going to do tonight, it makes it really hard to get out in the arena, especially if I want to ride after dark. But that is not a problem anymore because I have these arena lights. Look at these solar arena lights from Solar Goes Green. These lights have made such a difference for me, and being able to ride my horse at night, especially during November for No Stirrups November, has been a game changer. If you've ever considered adding lights to your arena but weren't really sure how to go about doing it, you are in luck because today's video I'm going to walk you through adding arena lights to my arenas. If you've ever considered putting in your own lights for your arena, I think you're really going to like this video. All right, so here are the lights. I have 8 in total that I need to mount. 4 of them are the FL9W and 4 of them are the FL12W light. So in total, this is going to give me 2,500 watts of light for my arena. So if you're not sure of how much light you would need for your arena, the best thing to do is to reach out to Solar Goes Green and just talk to them. Let them know what your lighting situation is, and they are very responsive and very helpful to help you get the right amount of light that you need for your arena. And not only did the lights come with the lights themselves, but they also came with the solar panels. And each of the light has a solar panel, just like this one. And what we did was we mounted the solar panel and then we put the light on top of the pole. So my husband helped me a lot with this part of it. So he actually put the solar panels, like put the brackets on the back of them. And these are the larger solar panels, the FL12W. So these are the bigger lights. So they needed a larger solar panel. And we did receive a mounting bracket for each of the panels so we could mount them onto the pole. They do have the option that you can do a ground mount, or you can do what we did and mount the solar panel up high on the pole to make sure it's going to get enough sunlight to charge those huge batteries that are in the lights. And while he was building everything, he attached the bolts so that he could put the bracket arm onto the back of the solar panel. This made it a lot easier for me when I was carrying the solar panels out to my arena to mount them. So once we had the solar panels all put together, then we had to build the poles. And for the poles, I used 2x6 lumber that is 8 foot tall or 8 foot long. And this lumber is pressure treated because I don't want to be taking the poles down or my lights down. So we made a mounting system by attaching a 2x4 to the front of the 2x6 piece of lumber and then just secured it with some decking screws. We also pre-drilled the holes because the top, that little piece, that's where the lights are going to be mounted. So here's all my poles. They are all built, and now all I have to do is paint them to protect them from being outside. And the taller your pole is, that's going to give you more light. So my poles are 8 foot tall. This seemed to work really well for me. But if you have a larger area that you're lighting, you might want to consider using either metal poles or like 10 or 12 foot timbers if you decide to go that route. So once my poles were all assembled, then I had to paint them. And I happened to have some trim paint that was left over from painting our house, and I used that to paint the poles. And this paint is a flat exterior latex paint, so it will be able to withstand the elements. At the same time, it's going to be protecting the lumber and giving just one extra bit of protection against the elements. And it'll look nice too. All right, now that all my poles are all painted and ready to go, then I took out each of the lights, and using the back of my husband's truck, I made a makeshift workbench so I can attach the lights to each of the poles. Now, I love these lights. These are some heavy duty solar lights. They are awesome. They have a battery pack that is in the bottom. That's what's in that bottom piece. And each light has an adjustable arm, which is almost like a frame. So they do include the hardware so you can easily remove that frame or change the angle of the light. And with just a twist of the Allen wrench, I was able to change the position of that frame so I can mount the light a little bit easier. Now, since we did decide to mount the lights onto the little frame, I guess you could say, that we attached to the pole, we ended up buying some heavy duty bolts. Some of them were 2.5 inches long and the center one was 3 inches long. I put a washer and then I just used a bolt and tightened down the light to the frame. Now, can you see the two cords that are coming off of the light? One is the cord that is going to connect the light to the solar panel, and the shorter one is actually for a motion detector. Each of the lights come with a motion detector, which is really cool. So if you have some place that you wanted to put these lights up and you wanted to use it as a motion sensor, you've got it. The lights come with that. And I think you can see how easy it is to maneuver the light within that little frame, and it just works perfect. So you can get a perfect angle for where you want your lighting to go. All right, that's one all done. Everything is mounted onto the pole. Now I have to determine where I'm going to put the poles in my arena. So I brought all of the lights out and determined where I was going to put them, how far apart they were going to be. And again, I wasn't quite sure of how far apart I needed the lighting to be. So what I did was just use some really strong zip ties and secure the poles to the fence, which I'll show you in just a few minutes. But this is the light. This is the Solar Goes Green FL12W light, which produces 375 watts of light. And I just wanted to show you, this is how I attached the light poles, or my light poles, to the fence. So I have a vinyl fence, and these are the extra long zip ties that I used just to secure the pole so it wouldn't move around. And it was actually windy when I put up my poles. See, it moves a little bit, but not very much. But I did want them to be somewhat secure for when I'm going to be attaching the solar panels. So once I had my lights figured, or at least how I thought I wanted them to go, then I brought out the solar panels and untightened the bolts. And when I'm untightening the bolts, this will release that arm, which I'm going to attach to the pole. And then I don't want to lose the bolts, so I made sure to put those in my pocket. Then I determined where I wanted the solar panel to go. I want to make sure that it has a southern exposure, so it's going to be able to collect a lot of that sunlight. So depending on which way the sun comes up or is, throughout the day, that determined where I was going to put the solar panels. And to attach the panels, I drilled a couple of holes first for where the solar panel, like the arm, is going to go, the back piece of it, to attach it. And then I just screwed it in place with some, again, heavy duty bolts. And those are my horses running around in the background. They were very curious to know what I was doing. Now, all in all, this project took me a weekend. I was able to get all of the lights put together, the poles painted, everything, and mounted and ready to use in 2 days. And as you can see, I'm doing this on my own. My husband did help me with the solar panels, but for the rest of this process, I was able to do this all by myself. Now, if you're going to be using like 12 or 14 foot poles, you're probably going to want to enlist some help. All right, so now I have that mounting bracket onto the pole, and now I just have to attach the solar panel. And again, you can see I am all by myself doing this, and it actually mounted very easily. And then I just went back and forth a couple of times to tighten the bolts, which gave Pleasant an opportunity to check out the solar panels. And then I just connected the solar light to the panel. Now, when I did this, I made sure that the light was in the off position because I didn't want to do anything to hurt my pretty new lights. And then I just wrapped up the excess cord and I tucked that back behind the solar panel. But the cords themselves from the light to the solar panel are pretty long. So if you were going to attach the solar panel to the ground mounting block, you have plenty of cord to do that. So once the first light was done, I just had to repeat the process with the remaining 7 lights that I had. And by the end of the afternoon, my lights were all up and ready to be tested out. So these are the lights. This was me testing out and seeing how the lighting was for my size arena. I'm pretty happy with the positioning of the lights, and I think you can see a couple of them flickered on and off, and that meant that they had to be reset. And I was able to do that with a remote control because yes, these lights come with a remote control, which is awesome. So here's the arena. It's almost dark without the lights. And then presto, I have lights. I have a well-lit arena. Then this is the remote control. There's a lot of buttons on there, but what makes this remote really unique, in my opinion, is that you can get different levels of light with the remote control. You can get 10%, 30%, 50%, 70%, 100%, and then you can shut off the lights. And when I had a couple of issues with the lights, wanting to shut off, that meant they were needing to be programmed. So I reprogrammed the lights just using the remote control. And if I had any questions about this entire process, all I had to do was reach out to Jody at Solar Goes Green and she answered my questions super fast and actually made it really easy for me to troubleshoot if I was having any issues with my lights. And of course, I had to test them out and see how awesome it was to be able to ride when it's getting dark. This, like I said, is a game changer. This is so nice. I am so excited to have these lights and have my arena be so nice and lit up. And I think you can see that's my husband. He's walking around. So there's the shadow of my husband. Pleasant has his shadow, and I don't know if it's just because he's super calm, but he didn't spook, he didn't, freak out, or he was not concerned about his shadow in the arena. If you think your horse might get a little bit, skittish with the lights or his shadow, just do what I did and bring him out there first, turn the lights on and off while he's out there, and just walk around with them. That's what we did, and I had no problems with him whatsoever. You can also maybe get more lights. So if you have a larger arena or you want more lights, you can always buy more lights. But for me, this amount of light seems to work perfect, and it gives me a wonderful opportunity to be able to get out there and ride and work on my no stirrups time too. And again, these solar lights come from the company Solar Goes Green. They are an incredible company located in Indiana. Their website is a great source of information for all of the products that they offer. And the best thing to do is, if you're considering adding solar lights to your own arena, go check them out and see what they have to offer. And also, if you have any questions, reach out to them. They have lots of different solar lighting solutions, and they can help you to get the arena of your dreams so you can get out there and spend time with your horse even when it's dark. And I just wanted to say one more time, thank you so much to Solar Goes Green for sponsoring this video and giving me the opportunity to have an incredible arena that makes it nice that I don't have to race home, because I know I can still ride even when it's dark.